Hi, and welcome back. It's so good to be here. I'm so sorry that I wasn't around last Tuesday. I've been taking some time, and I'm like, what do I want to do with this channel? Like, what kind of content do I want to make? So, um, first of all, I want to do like different cool stuff. I've been thinking like retro challenges or like music related things, stuff like that. I think that would be super cool. I don't know. But if you don't know me, I'm Clayton, and I kind of, talk about my life and talk about cool things that I've done, talk about things that I've been through, other stuff like that. And I'm having a really fun time with it so far. So if you're here again, it's nice to see you. And if it's your first time, then thank you so much for being here. And today's topic is actually going to be something I've been wanting to talk about for a while. It is going to be my travel in Europe, like a recap, and then like tips and tricks, right? Okay, so I went to Europe back in 2018. I went on a study abroad trip when I was in college, and you learn a lot because being here in America, it's like you don't really know what goes on outside. You see it on Twitter or you see it on Instagram. You like see other people travel, but you don't know until you do it, right? So I went on this trip with a group of friends that was like, I think it was like 19 or 20 of us, and we went to several different countries in Europe. And I'm just going to kind of go through each one and talk about what we did and, some things that would make your travel easier in Europe. So first of all, we flew out of Atlanta into Paris. And in Paris, we only went to the airport, okay? But it was a beautiful airport. It's like nicer than most malls that I've seen here. It's like really nice. And it was certainly better than Charlotte's airport or Atlanta's airport. But yeah, it's a super cool place. I hate that I didn't get to go out and explore, especially now because I have French friends, and I'm like, I wish that I could have gone and like seen you guys and seen the Eiffel Tower. That's always the one thing people want to say, but I also want to like try the food and things like that. But anyway, that's beside the point. All I got was Starbucks from there. So then from there we went into Budapest, right? And that, of course, it was my first time being in a European country ever. So we were in Hungary, and I remember going, and I was like, oh my god, first of all, it's so hot. And it's like, here, it's like humid and hot. This was just like dry heat. And it was so hot. So if you're gonna go in the summer, bring cool clothes, okay? Another thing is currency. So the Hungarian money system is like, it goes for like less than an American dollar. So like the more of that you bring over, the American money, you'll get more of that. So say you have like $1 in American money, it's like $2 or $3 in Hungarian money. And I think that was called forint, maybe. It was so cool. It was beautiful. It really was. The food was, I don't know, it was different. It always was. But like I remember this specific thing. They and this held true for all of Europe. When you ask for water, usually you just get like water, like plain water. But the default in Europe is like sparkling water. So I wasn't ready for that. I don't like sparkling water. So you have to ask for like flat water. That was a really big like shock for me, just because like I'm used to just like normal water. But it was gorgeous. We stayed at a beautiful hotel, beautiful views, wonderful people. I didn't speak their language, so I kind of got by. It was harder to get by there with English, because not as many people knew English as they did in the other places that I went. So that was different. But definitely, like I said, bring cool clothes. Always bring money. bring something to carry your stuff in and kind of know, like, this is where I want, having like an itinerary. So like, I want to go here, I want to go here, I want to go here. And then what's going to hold true for all of these countries is public transportation. Do not do what I did and take an Uber everywhere you go, because I did that. And that ran up a lot of money that I could have saved if I had taken a bus or a train or whatever. So that's definitely something to consider. So that was pretty much Hungary. We didn't get to do much. We didn't stay there as long as we did everywhere else. But super cool. I liked it. I didn't get to experience the nightlife there because, like I said, we were there. We got there like late at night and went out to dinner, and then like came back and then spent one more day, and then went on to Vienna. Now, Vienna was a unique experience for me. I did not have as much fun in Vienna as some people would, just because of something that happened. But it was a beautiful place again. I went on the history of psychology trip. So we went to like the Freud Museum, and we went to all these different, historical establishments. But the food in Vienna was really, really good. It was like, I got several different types of like Italian dishes, as well as like some traditional dishes, Austrian dishes, and they were really good. I like the German ones better because we went there next. But Austria was the place that like started with like euros. I started off with like forint, right, which was the Hungarian currency, and then I went into Austria, and then we went to Munich, Berlin, and Amsterdam, and they all had euros, so that was really nice to have that. But that's actually like, it's kind of backwards from the forint. So actually the euro is worth more than the American dollar. So like if you have like $1 in American currency, it's like 75 cents. An American dollar is worth like 75 cents to €1. It was different. So it's a little bit more expensive, but it's not terrible. But there it was so pretty. The hotel was so nice. Everything was there. Like, it was so automated, and I was really surprised. Like, there were like buttons for like the blinds and for the lights, and everything was just like a button you had. Like, you can't see it, but I'm sitting on a couch right now, and everything that you had was like a push of a button type thing. It was really cool. I enjoyed that part of it. I was really tired a lot of the time in Vienna because I'd been flying and traveling, and then we took a train from Budapest to Vienna, and it was a long train ride, and I was tired, so I didn't do as much. I went out to a bar too, just to hang out. That was cool. It was a super diverse place, and it was easier to understand. More people spoke English in Vienna than I thought they would. A lot of people spoke German in Vienna, but it was overall, it was super cool, very pretty. So I would say that's like I had a personal experience that wasn't so great, involving an angry man and me in the middle of the night when I shouldn't have been. But great place. I don't discourage you from going to it. It was really cool. So after that, we went to, and I'm going to lump this into one part, we went to Munich and Berlin in Germany. Now, these two places were like 2 and 3 on my list. I loved both of these places. The food was amazing. The people were very nice. The people that I encountered were very nice. Everybody spoke a lot of English, which I wasn't expecting, but they did. And that made it easier for me because I did not know much German at that time. So that was just super cool, and I loved seeing the sights, and we got to see everything is so different. Like, things that you wouldn't think would be interesting were interesting. The road signs and the way that people like conduct themselves, and the different. One thing that got me was like they had cigarette machines, and like you don't see that here anymore. They did away with those here in like the 50s, 60s. So that was a different thing. I also, oh my god, I got to go into this grocery store there that was across from the hotel, and that was so cool. I love like foreign like snacks and things like that that we don't have here. And it was so cool because they had like different flavors of things that we do have, and there were things I just never heard of. It was so cool. I loved it, and I still like. I think about this one chocolate bar that I had over there. I have a picture of it, and it was so good, and you cannot find it here. And it was like 10 euros from a vending machine because I'm stupid and didn't go across the street to the grocery store to get it. But no, it was a beautiful place. The food. We went to the maybe the oldest beer hall in Europe, I believe. And this was in, God, I think it was Munich. It was one of the two. And yeah, I ordered meatloaf, right? Thinking, you know, American meatloaf is a thing, right? But I didn't. If I got like, imagine like a hot dog, but in like a loaf form, and then you get a slice of that. That's what it was. And that was different. Because that did not translate into what I thought it was going to be. But I mean, it was great. You know, it was more of an experience. It was really cool. We had sushi there too. It was so good. And, you know, this is a good thing to mention about my diet. When I was there, it did not matter what I ate. And I have like terrible acid reflux, like all the time. And the whole time that I was in Europe, none. No digestive issues, no anything like that. So it makes me wonder, like, what are we using here that they're not using there that made me feel so much better? It was so cool. I loved it. It was beautiful. We got to see so many cool things. Different, you know, I think this is where we went to the embassy, and it was really pretty, and I just had such a good time there. The weather was nicer. It was like calmer than it was in Budapest. Vienna was rainy, and Munich and Berlin were sunny, but it wasn't like overbearing like it was in Budapest. Budapest was just hot, and so like, I don't even know how to explain it. I was trying to think of the word. It was just like a calm heat because it was the middle of summer. It was June, and it was hot, but it was like not terrible. Like, I don't know if you've been to a place like Louisiana where it's just like super hot, but it's also humid, and that kind of just makes you feel like, oh, like that. This was not like that. It was just, you know, it was cool. I was able to walk and do and be fine and not worry about things like that. Again, ran into the issue with the water dilemma. That was my whole thing this whole time. And I got water from there, right? And it was in a big bottle, and it was pink, and it had a pregnant woman on it. And that was the only kind of water that I could find that was not sparkling. Now, and it was more expensive too. It was like €8. Maybe I got overcharged, I don't know. But it was like super expensive, but that was the only way that I could find water that wasn't like bubbly. But no, I had a great time there. We went and saw all the sights. And my advice for Germany, like I said, is just ask at your hotel, like, what are some cool things to do? Or Google, you know, cool things to do in Germany. Like, whatever you want to do, there's going to be somebody that did it, like myself, that like left a review, and it's like, this was really fun. I enjoyed it. So that's a big thing to find out. There's also like tons of brochures that are in English a lot of the time because it was, I believe, a Holiday Inn. So it was like something you see here a lot, but it was there. So some of that stuff was in English, and it like highlighted some cool places to go to. It was super fun. I enjoyed it a lot. We went on a tour of a historical like building. I can't remember the name of it, but it was so cool. So that was Munich and Berlin. The food, again, so good. I got pizza a lot there. It was like Diavola, I think. I think that's right. It was really good. And we had this one bartender who like would serve us the food and drinks, and he was amazing. Robin, if you're watching this, I love you and I miss you. Again, I took Ubers everywhere. Do not do that. Take public transportation. You pay like $15 for a card, and you're good for however many days you're there. Like, it's not. I didn't do that right, but you can. You learn from my mistakes. Okay. Now, the last place we went was Amsterdam. This is by far my favorite one. After being in Budapest, Vienna, Munich, Berlin, and Paris for a short time, almost everybody in Amsterdam spoke English, and then Dutch to me was like really similar to English, so it was like easier to understand. I remember I went to like a Burger King of all places in Amsterdam, and it was so like the menu items were like different. They had these things called like blondies, and we don't have that here. But that was the best thing I've ever eaten to this day, and it was like a fast food dessert, and it was so good. And I was like, oh my god, I have to like find this when I get home. And of course I didn't, because it does not exist here, but just really sad. Be careful in Amsterdam when you're walking. Do not step 1 inch into the bike lane, because you will get run over, because everybody is on a bike, okay? Everybody. And like, it's just so, you really like, here you are, here's the bike lane. Do not do that, because you will get run over by a bicycle. I almost did several times. It's I don't even know. It's just super different. Like, you don't see that here, especially where I am. It's very rural. I don't see like bicycles. There's no place to ride a bike. It's roads, highways. So be careful with that. Again, euros, not forint. That was the only place I had to use different currency, was in Budapest. So it was a great experience. I loved it. The food, we went to this restaurant called Mr. Crab, and it was so good. I don't remember what I got. It was seafood, definitely, but then I also got like a dessert. It was also good. If you're ever in Amsterdam and you see a restaurant called Mr. Crab, go there. It was so good, and the waiter was so nice, and everybody was so nice. People in Amsterdam were nice, and we get to go stand by the sign and take pictures, and it was like so cool. The climate was very nice. It was very chilled out, weather-wise and people-wise. It wasn't, like hostile or anything. Like, when we were in Berlin, there were like protests going on about something. I think it was like a police protest, and there was like a bunch of, they were like, don't go here, don't go there, stay this here, and that was a bit different for me, because like I said, I live in a really small place here, and I don't see that often. So that was different, but super fun. Amsterdam, definitely the top place that I went in Europe when I was there. The restaurants were great, the desserts were great, the food was great. We went to the Anne Frank house, because that's like a part of the history in Amsterdam. It was a really cool experience, very sad, because this trip was like history of the Holocaust. So we went to different museums and landmarks and places like that while we were there. I think the trip was called like the psychology of hate, maybe, like going over like everything that had happened. And it was super interesting, but it was very sad. And I'm glad I got the time to like go off and do things on my own, instead of just doing the history thing the whole time, because it was like eye-opening, but at the same time it could get really dark and deep, of course. And eventually, like, I got to go off on my own and do these things. And that was Amsterdam. We did other things too. But it was so cool. I loved it so much, and it like felt like if I had to pick anywhere in Europe to live, it would be there. Now, prices there were good. They weren't great, but they were good. Everything's bad now. This was 6 years ago, so who knows? But, God, 6 years ago. That's so crazy. I'm so old. Because I was 20, or no, I was 19, and I'm gonna be 20. That's so crazy. Oh my god. But, I had such a good time in Amsterdam. It was, like I said, my favorite. The people were really nice and accommodating. The hotel was great. I was the only guy on this trip. Everybody else was a girl, so I got my own room the whole time. I didn't have a roommate, and that was like super cool as well, just because I got my own space to myself. And I do remember at the hotel in Amsterdam, the bathroom was like, imagine like a sphere, like a, like that, and you opened it on one side and you were like in a round bathroom. It was so weird. It's like bizarre, but it was like cool at the same time. I really did love it. The only thing I can think of too is like everything there is like um very energy conscious. The outlets would like turn off after a certain amount of time, and you had the option to like turn it on or off, and this would turn off after a certain time. You couldn't just leave things on like a lot of people do here in America. So very energy conscious. It made me see a lot of differences between like how we do things here and how things are done there. Again, with the food, never got sick the whole time. And at that time, especially, I was notorious for being sick um, because of my digestive like stuff. And that all went away when I was in Europe and then came back the minute I flew back into Atlanta and ate something. But it was super cool. I definitely recommend Amsterdam. If you ever go anywhere in the Netherlands, it was so pretty. We went to the Van Gogh Museum. That was so cool to see in person. Like, oh my god, and the tulips like outside. Oh my god, it was so nice. So like definitely that's like on my thing. Van Gogh Museum, Freud Museum was really cool if you like psychology. Any historical landmark, honestly, you know, this is like, I'm a big history person, so if you like anything history, Europe is a great place to go. The architecture is beautiful, especially in Germany. Everything was so, you know, like old, and I loved that. And they like have stayed true to that architecture style. Everything's not modernized like it is here. So it was just so nice. I enjoyed it so much. But yeah, if you ever go, like, those places are cool, and there's some things to look for, and I really hope I get to get back one day because it was super fun. I loved it. And to wrap things up, I just want to say I do have a lot of pictures. Like, I'm looking over here because like there's more pictures. I have a lot of pictures if you guys want to see those. But no, it was so cool, and I had a great time. And it's making me like feel nostalgic because it was so long ago, but I enjoyed it so much. But anyway, that's my like Europe recap plus like some things that I did and some tips. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm so glad to be back, and like I said, I'm so sorry I missed last week. I was thinking of things to do, and what I'm thinking from here on out is like, you know, less about me, more me doing things. I don't know though. We'll see. It's what you guys want, because like I'm doing this for fun, but I also want to do things that people will enjoy, right? So, I think that definitely I want to do like the retro challenges thing. I think that was really cool because like I was on YouTube at that time, but I was too young to do these things. So I want to try that. I thought about music things, like a what's on my playlist type video. Just a bunch of different stuff. So, if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. And remember to like and subscribe for more of me, and I will see you next Tuesday. All right, bye.